And nursing home is also very expensive, right? It's not going to improve. The cost will be higher and higher. It's a no-brainer. In years to come, when you and I hit old age, and one way older adults cope with increasing healthcare before and after COVID is through medical tourism. Have you heard of medical tourism? Have you heard of medical tourism?
Would that just be someone going from one country to another looking for better healthcare?
Yeah, very good. So someone, regardless of age, going to another country for better and more affordable, more cost-effective healthcare. And older adults do it quite often, before and after COVID, I think, because some of them experience decline in income. Social security income is not going to be enough to pay for all these expenses, healthcare expenses. No. And we have more and more health problems as we grow old. And our income is going to decline. We may cut down on work hours. We may be forced to retire, whether we want it or not, among other things. And because of that, as you can see from this graph, the market share for medical tourism has increased over the years. I think these are all real data, and these here are forecasted data. The market share is also forecasted to increase, COVID or no COVID, for every country. For the major destination country, the market share for medical tourism has increased and is predicted to increase over time. Because of the exchange rates, currency in other countries are quote unquote cheaper. So it makes it more cost effective to get certain procedures done in other countries. As you can see from here, Gen X and Gen Y mainly take advantage of medical tourism. 50% of Gen Y and 40% of Gen X make use of medical tourism. Baby boomers, close to 37% of boomers, they also make use of medical tourism. And seniors, it's also quite high to me, close to 30%, for the reasons we just mentioned. Most elderly person experience reduction in income. So they go overseas for treatment and all kinds of medical procedures. And these are the percentages by different gender groups, different racial groups, and people from different health statuses. And as you can see, people with private insurance are more likely to make use of medical tourism. It seems to me that procedures undertaken in another country may not be covered by Medicare and Medicaid. And there are different types of medical tourism. Outbound means that Americans traveling abroad for medical services. Inbound means that patients from other countries coming to the US for medical care. Intrabound is the mixture of both. Okay. I cannot make it bigger. So this, you can look when we are done. This data is old, but it shows the major destination country, how much people can save for procedures in these countries, and what's the most popular procedures in these countries, and whether they are JCI accredited or not. I think JCI is, I don't know if it is an international or government entities that inspect all the hospitals abroad to see whether they meet certain healthcare standards or not. Okay, look at this. It's hard to find data on medical tourism for older adults. This is for everybody in general, but some of these procedures apply more to older adults than others. Look at all these procedures. Look at the cost in US and in Thailand. In Singapore. And Singapore is the most advanced country in Asia or Southeast Asia. And the Singaporean healthcare system is highly regarded. It's top-notch. I've been there several times, and it's also quite cheap. So, because of that, Singapore is also a major destination. And look at the hip replacement cost in Taiwan. The healthcare system in Taiwan is also very good. Even though technically Taiwan is not a country. Do you know the history of Taiwan? It used to be a part of China. In 1949, when communists took over China, the Chiang Kai-shek regime, the old regime, they retreated southward to Taiwan. Initially, it was recognized by the UN until the late 70s. But regardless, Taiwan is also very advanced like Singapore. And the healthcare system of Taiwan, the medical records system, record keeping system in Taiwan, because of the Japanese influence, it was governed by the Japs before World War II. It's very organized. So Taiwan is another major destination. It's also a lot cheaper to do these procedures in Taiwan compared to the US. Different kinds of dental care. As you can see, it's cheaper in Singapore, a lot cheaper in India. Also quite cheap in Mexico. It's just next door. Some people go to nursing home in Mexico. And it's also quite cheap in Costa Rica. This explains why people go abroad. And these procedures is also used frequently by older adults. When we hit a certain age, we need knee and hip replacement. It's a lot cheaper. It's almost half the cost in Mexico. It's just next door. It's also a lot cheaper in Singapore, even though it's a lot further.